Want to become an elite level athlete? Well, look no further. The Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course is all you need to take your performance from subpar to the creme de la creme of athletes all around the world. The purpose of this course is to give you a comprehensive weight training, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance program that is meant to prepare young athletes for collegiate and professional sports. This course is packed with over 2 hours of creative, action-packed lifts narrated and coached by yours truly to assure increased strength, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance. Hey, I get it. Training alone can be tough and can even make you feel misguided or somewhat unmotivated. But with this course, I walk you step by step through each and every lift to make sure you're using the proper form to prevent injuries and that you're hitting the correct muscle groups to render maximum results. So what are you waiting for? It's now or never. So go ahead and get the training course today so you too can reclaim your throne. What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Reclaim Your Throne coming at you with another crazy video. But first, my goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Reclaim your throne. All right, guys. So I wanted to break down this. Honestly, I wanted to break down a whole TikTok account because as you guys can see with the title, there's a very interesting story circulating around TikTok of a woman who was cheated on by her boyfriend with her sister. So her boyfriend cheated on her with her sister, and she's on TikTok, a woman by the name of Carly Ann. And not only is this her boyfriend, he is also her baby daddy. So, you know, a lot of times we're getting these narratives like black men are the ones who are creating baby daddies and all this kind of stuff. But it also happens in the white community more than people like to admit. And in this case, this is an egregious case where you have the baby father who completely betrayed his baby mama's trust by getting with the sister. So there's so many red pill vitamins that we can take from this story. And one of the main things being pre-selection. That's something that we're going to cover. Pre-selection in this story is massive. And by example, that being the sister seeing the other sister happy with a man, and then her getting turned on and her getting attracted to that man based off of the way that he treats her older sister. But I want to go straight to the horse's mouth and get it from her. I've pretty much done as much explanation as I can. And let's see. Let me just figure out how to get this thing in full screen before we get into it. But it's a pretty interesting story, to say the least. And I wanted to bring it to you guys' attention because there's so many real live TikTok stories that are, you know, good reaction material. And also, we have these examples showing us what is going on in the dating market and how things are basically playing out. And a lot of red pill talking points, red pill tenets that we speak on are manifesting themselves in real life. So here is the woman in question. She's crying on TikTok. And this is another example of women love embarrassing men on social media. And she actually has not posted the guy, but here's a breakdown of the story. Finding out the father of my kids / ex of 10 years flew to Colorado to spend an intimate weekend with my sister. So this is pretty deep here. And man, I mean, we just have to keep our eyes peeled and really break down the realities of this story, because there are funny parts, there are sad parts, there's betrayal. It's like a Shakespearean play, right? And it's playing right in front of our eyes, and we can see just we're getting one side of the story, but we can just see the dynamics of how the dating market is panning out. But she has become a single mom. She was left a single mom by the man who cheated on her with her sister. And, I just want to point out again that this is a white couple um, who experiences infidelity, experienced becoming a single mom. And this is something that a lot of people like to act like is not happening. And black men are the only ones creating fatherless homes when the data is not good for, white demographics either. And I think the best demographics are Indian and Asian when it comes to the divorce rates, but or the single motherhood rates. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is something that is affecting all communities, and I just wanted to point that out. So let's get into the video.
Like, my whole family is being ruined because these two can't just grow up and like deal with their shit. Like, they're so, it's just so immature. And I'm just having to sit here and like hear all of it. And there's nothing I can do about it. And I don't want to do anything about it. But it's just like the feeling of, oh, like, I don't even know how to explain it.
So you can hear the little one in the background. Very sad that she's having to deal with this child alone. And we could say, oh, well, she dated Chad. She didn't vet. We can go to all of the talking points. But I mean, let's keep it a buck. It is pretty messed up that he went with the sister. Now, it would be a different story if he went with somebody else. It would even be a different story if he tried to make it work with both of them, which I know seems far-fetched, especially at this point. But it's something that I could have seen and be like, okay, well, maybe he's, not on one too crazy. I mean, even though some, especially women, would see that as wild and something that they wouldn't be down for. And I totally understand. But in this case, I mean, you got a guy who completely just smashed the sister. He was on some Future. I don't give it if they was real sisters. Like, he really smashed her, got her knocked up, was plotting on Lil Sus, and inevitably sent her back to the streets.
He cold. She belongs to the streets.
I mean, it's wild. It is wild. And I mean, honestly, you want to feel bad for her, you really do. But then it's like, okay, you come on TikTok, you're playing it up, you're, putting your family business all out there. It's just not the way that you would think someone in this situation would approach such embarrassment. But I mean, I guess this is, a lot of women are saying, well, TikTok is my form of therapy. TikTok is my form of therapy. So this is what they're doing, and we have content to react to. So
like, I have been dealing with this like day by day. There's new information. I get something new sent to me or told to me every day, and I just kind of try my best to make it a joke because I don't know what else to do. But it's like, when I hear stuff like this, like, oh yeah, they're definitely together. Like, I know it's real. It's just one of those things that like you think would never happen to you. Like, what? It's so fucked up.
So she's gonna pretty much break down this whole story, and that apparently was part one. Well, actually, part one is pinned. So let me get to part one. This is gonna be a roller coaster ride, an emotional roller coaster ride, guys. So bear with me. We're getting all the facts, at least the facts from her side, and ultimately, it is going to be interesting. So let's keep going.
Put a figure down if your baby daddy, an ex of 10 years, is now dating your sister.
And this is it is the reason why you should marry before you carry, because then she would actually have some legal grounds to fight this in court, right? But now she has to go to social media because she really can't do anything but put him on child support, which I don't even know if she's going to do. But, you know, obviously we don't support child support, and we over here don't support alimony or spousal support or anything like that. But as far as what is in a woman's best interest, it would be in her best interest to have gotten married legally through the state with this man so that all of this would have been preventable. Now, obviously, it's not going to prevent what he does, but it could have prevented the situation that she's in now, feeling all alone, feeling like the financial burden and whatnot is all on her. And this is why we say marry before you carry, for sure. And I do believe that you should be in some type of union, whether it be religious or by the state. When you have a child, you got to bond yourself to that person and try and work it out for the children, because that's the best thing for the kids. But she is basically admitting that she got dumped and turned into a single mom by a man who cheated on her with her sister.
I'm so lucky. This is the last time I am making this video. I think I have tried to make this video about 20 times today, and I just can't get it right. I'm going to be...
By the way, guys, hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal. YouTube, I applied for monetization in August 19th. On August 19th, it is over 60 days. They still have not responded. I mean, this has to be some type of violation of monetization application rules or something like that, but they're holding off my monetization. I'm probably going to be held off until my AdSense, my Google AdSense account is deleted. Then I'll have to make a whole new AdSense and all this kind of stuff. That's probably how they're playing me right now, which is, I mean, it's hurtful, but at the end of the day, I like covering these stories. I like reacting to these stories, and, you know, just building a community of like-minded individuals. So just show some love. Donate if you feel so inclined. You don't have to, obviously, but liking the video, sharing the video is probably one of the most appreciated things that I can ask of you.
Awkward. I don't know what I'm doing on here. I have a lot of information. I'm trying to be as fast as I can. I have severe ADHD. We're going to try to keep it on track.
So severe ADHD, one mental ailment that can potentially lead to others like bipolar, schizophrenia, all this kind of stuff. Borderline personality disorder. A lot of these women are self-diagnosing, you know, saying they have ADHD, saying they have ADD, saying they're OCD, saying that they're this and that, and any other 3-letter diagnosis that you can. And, you know, I think it's a problem. I think a lot of the hyperbole that these chicks be speaking in is a problem, because it definitely it alludes to your mental state and your mindset and your mind frame. So I don't know, man. A lot of these chicks be a hot mess. So I am giving her the benefit of the doubt, though. But starting off by saying, "Oh, I'm ADHD," it kind of leads me to think that you're just crazy, right? And it makes me more critical of your story.
But no promises. Let's get it started. To understand the severity of how horrible this is, even on a deeper level of just hearing sister with my ex, I'd like to add a little bit of context. Sister's 18 months younger than me, very close growing up, super duper close. My best friend till we were in high school, I would say. Boyfriend. With him for, again, on and off 10 years. We have children together. We have a house together.
So together on and off for 10 years, children and a house together. 2 things they did out of order. This, again, 2 things they did out of order. They should have got married before they carried, and you definitely don't want to move in with a woman that you aren't going to be married with. I mean, you know, I would even go as far as to say, hey, even when you're married, you still want to have a separate place that you can just spend time apart. Because I mean, I think in this day and age, people need their space now more than ever. And I really think it's important for a man to have a separate space, because for focus wise, building wise, there's so many distractions when you have a woman in the house. She's going to be asking you to do this, that, and a third. Hey, can you get up and get this? Hey, can you get... There's no way you can have long-term committed focus to one thing when there's so many different distractions in the house. And that's not to say that, hey, you should just up and leave. No, I'm just saying you need either a separate space in the house or a whole nother residence where you can clearly focus on building what you got going on. But these are two things that they did out of order. All right. So this is why they're now dealing with the chaos.
I'm also going to say a lot in this, and I'm so sorry. I don't like it either. Making a video is probably the worst thing for me to do because I cannot stay on track. Anyway, we're going to try. Again.
Okay, so she definitely seems very erratic. I can see as a man how this can get annoying, but as you can see in the comments, you know, a lot of women are on her side, which I totally understand. But what they aren't understanding is what that man had to deal with every single day for 10 years. Not excusing his behavior, but I'm just giving perspective, because this type of eroticism and erraticness can be jarring for a man. And he may have been interested in someone way more chill.
Screw it, though, because I am not doing this again. Okay, so sister, super close. Baby daddy, 10 years. Both my best friends for a long period of time. A large part of my life, they were my bestest friends. In 2020, my sister got married and moved away. And my baby daddy went away for college to play hockey states away. So 2020.
Okay, so that's, I mean, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, well, how do you know he's white? Well, he's playing hockey. Let's keep it a buck. So he moves away to play hockey, on and off type relationship, like she said. The sister is married. So this is even more interesting. We have a, some would say initially a love triangle, but now this has become a quad.
20 kind of rocked my shit, as I'm sure it did everybody else. COVID, duh. But it really rocked my shit. It was the first time I was living alone by myself. I cannot with the Quit saying quit saying quit saying
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, she looks fine, but it's just like she's got a lot going on in her noggin, which could have been brought on by what the man, you know, the deceitfulness that the man brought into her life, the confusion. But it just doesn't seem like she's very good at articulating herself in a emotional state.
Okay. Sister away, husband. Boyfriend away, college. Me, sad. Not used to being that alone.
Shout out to Trey. He says, "Are you thug maxing?" Honestly, I might as yeah. Let me go ahead and thug max real quick. Let me go ahead and thug max real quick. Put the chain on. You did what I'm saying. You saying what I'm digging. Yeah, I'm thug maxing, bro. I'm thug maxing. But in all seriousness, I am. I'm gonna be Lil Wayne for Halloween. So I'm probably going to thug max within like the next 48 hours. I will be completely thug max next week with the Grizzle. I will have a Grizzle. I'm not going to put the Grizzle directly on my teeth. I'm going to have a retainer because I had Invisalign. I'm going to have a retainer. Then I'm going to put the Grizzle on the outside of the retainer. And it should look pretty sick. But yeah, yeah, put the chain on. I'm definitely thug maxing in this stream. So if y'all want some tips on thug maxing, y'all see what it is. The gray tee. You know, a lot of niggas, they be rocking the black tee, the white tee, The gray tea is something, it's different, okay? The gray tea is different. You got the Louis V. Dewey, the cock sideways MAGA hat. He said, watch all the ghetto birds come your way. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, I'm definitely thug maxing in this stream. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you're on Twitter or X, the space, show some love over there too.
I got depressed for sure. I was going out a lot. I was drinking a lot. I was doing.
There you have it. She got depressed. She was going out a lot. She was drinking a lot. Boom. So now it doesn't make what he did sound so bad, because we know what happens in girls' nights out, and when girls go out and drink, they get fucked. They get smashed. They get ran through. They do one night stands. They hook up with guys. Let's not act like that's not the truth. So I could definitely understand if your girl is going to girls' nights out and you're, I guess, wherever he was at, training for hockey and maybe going to college for hockey or whatnot. I forget if he was going to the NHL, or I'm pretty sure it was college, but he's playing college hockey and your girl's going out every night. Oh, I'm definitely not going to be loyal to that. So I can understand why Buddy, tapped out in that regard. But also when you have a kid involved, it changes the whole dynamic. So very tough dilemma, but I can understand why the man was not interested in staying with her.
Whatever I could to numb the pain of my two best friends not being there for me anymore.
So because they went on to live their life and your sister gets married, she creates a family of her own, and then your boyfriend or your baby daddy has to go and play college hockey, you get super drunk. I really don't understand this thought process with women. They have every excuse to get drunk and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. They will excuse anything. They will excuse anything. Based off of, oh, well, this is happening in my life and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's just wild.
Whatever, though. My baby daddy comes back. We shouldn't have been together. It was a horrible relationship to start out with. The whole 10 years. I mean, of course, there were good moments, but it was mainly bad. We're very toxic for each other.
So the whole 10 years, y'all together 10 years, and it was mainly bad. 10 years and it was mainly bad, but she stayed. Where have we heard this story before?
But he was my high school sweetheart, and I thought that was like the end all be all, as every other girl does, unfortunately, usually. And it was bad. It was bad. Whatever, though. He came home, quit hockey. I got pregnant. And my sister also had just had babies. So married, sister had twins.
So sister had twins. She got pregnant. I don't know if she got pregnant before he quit hockey or he quit hockey, then she got pregnant. But in my opinion, the getting pregnant part could have been a tactic to keep him home so she's not alone anymore.
Baby daddy comes back for me. I have twins, which makes the story just even worse.
Wow, so her and her sister had twins. What are the odds of that? Crazy.
So yeah, me and the Wicked Witch both have twins. Hers are a year older than mine. Moving right along. We both bought houses with our significant others. She and her husband moved to Colorado with their kids. Me and my baby daddy / ex long-term boyfriend, technically husband, if you want to as far as feelings and
technically husband. So it was toxic for 10 years, but now he's technically your husband. You gotta choose a struggle, baby. You got to.
Life goes. We just didn't get married. We bought a house, have twins. 2 boys. There is a lot more lore and info on my story on my family's backstory that would just really amp this shit up even worse, but I do not have time to go through all of that. My family lore is actually insane. We should have our own reality TV show. I have my notes to try to help me stay on track. So I got pregnant, had my kids. I had a bit of postpartum depression, and I actually admitted myself to the psych ward.
Wow. So she admitted herself into a psych ward. Immediate evidence for custody from the ex boyfriend or the baby daddy. So he might actually win a custody battle because she admitted herself to a psych ward. And that means she was super nutty. To admit yourself into the psych ward is super duper nutty. After postpartum depression, which women use postpartum depression as an excuse to act any kind of way after they have kids, because it's almost like a midlife crisis where they feel like their life is over after they have kids and they can't do anything, and then the kids are crying, screaming, babies, all that kind of stuff. Very stressful. But it doesn't mean that you can just act any type of way and disrespect the people in your life and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure she probably drove him crazy with the postpartum depression. I mean, obviously, clinically, psychologically, they're gonna say it's a thing. It's a thing. I'm not saying it's not a thing, but I'm saying you can control your actions. That's what I'm saying. So, um, yeah, they use that excuse for anything. A woman deletes her baby after it's born. Oh, postpartum depression. A woman, deletes her man. Postpartum depression. Like, y'all can't just be using that for everything, and it's getting played out.
It's the best thing I ever did. Hands down, I needed to make that decision for my kids, and I am just like a totally different person now because of that. That's a whole other story. I can get into that maybe another day because I'm not ashamed of it. I like to talk about it, but that's not really relevant to the story. I just wanted to put that in there because I'm pretty sure these two want to blackmail me by holding my mental illness and my nut hut vacation into me like a bad thing. It's just like blackmailing me with posting stuff about that. And honestly, do it, guys, because guess what? I don't care. And if you're going to use that to justify the fact that you two are sleeping together, that's just gross and weird. Anywho, got through that. Let's see here. In February of this year, we learned that my sister and her husband were having really bad marital issues, and so they were gonna get divorced. Like, that's basically what it came down to. She does not work, so she decided to come stay up here with us for a while, and that's really where this starts. Like, this story starts. So February, learned she was leaving her husband. They both did each other dirty. I'm not going to go into it, though. It's not my place since I'm being so respectful of these people.
So she's saying that they're doing each other dirty. What that means, I'm not completely sure, but let's keep going.
No, I don't respect a single one of them. Me and baby daddy are still together at this point. We're in a house, we have our kids, and it was just a lot. It was crazy. But my sister and her husband did not seem like the type that would ever get divorced. But I mean, it happens, and it is what it is. I'm not.
So the sister and her husband end up getting divorced because they were doing each other crazy.
Gonna get into it. So it was, let's see, I have a date on here. So in March, my baby daddy was going out a lot, which he always did and does, but I just kind of got a little.
So now her baby daddy is the one who goes out a lot. So which one is it? Is it you who go out a lot? Is it the baby daddy who goes out a lot?
Bit of a feeling that something was a little weird. I don't know. We know girls have instincts, and my instincts are actually killer. So I took it upon myself to go into his Snapchat. He let me have all his passwords, so I didn't do this.
This is something that you never do, man. Giving up your passwords, giving up, all this kind of proprietary information to the women in your life. Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Maliciously, even though whatever, I should be able to look at it anyway. I'm your girlfriend of 10 years and your kid's mother, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Looked through there, I saw that my sister's name was on there, yet everything was deleted. So the chat had been deleted of whatever they were saying. And it was like the night before, like the weekend before at like 3 a.m. And so I kind of lost my shit a little bit, knowing what I knew about her and her husband and what they were going through. I was like, oh, no. So I kind of went back and forth debating if I should even ask her about it, just because I didn't want to come off as crazy. And like, obviously there wasn't really that thought of they're talking like that. This is my sister and my baby daddy, her nephew's dad. So that really didn't cross my mind. I just was weirded out, and I really didn't know if I wanted to like rail her about it or if I was just gonna be like, well, take the L. Maybe they're just like sending each other funny memes. I don't know. It's looking back now, I feel really fucking stupid. I'm running out of time, so I am going to make a part 2 and cover whatever else I need to in that. So I will see you in the next video.
All right, so let's go to part 2. Damn. These videos are pretty long, but this story it has so many red vitamin tenets that we can draw from and really break down and analyze. So I really want to get through it. Let's keep going.
Okay, part 2. So she was Snapchatting him. And like I said, when I looked on his Snap, it was just like a blue chat. But when I clicked on it, all of the chats, like the words that were said, have been deleted, which is just a little suspicious to me. And it was also very suspicious that she didn't tell me right away. Like, if my sister's husband was texting me or calling me anytime, I would let her know. Like, better yet, 3 o'clock in the morning when he's drunk. So that was a red flag for me, obviously. So I texted her and I just asked what was said and why she didn't tell me. And her whole message was like, I just didn't want to cause any drama. He didn't say anything. He just called me and was telling me that I need to leave my husband and blah, blah, blah. It is so annoying to look back on these moments too and just be like, why wasn't this working? Why was this not clicking? Why did I not see this stuff? Anyway, texted her, asked her.
Yeah, and here's another thing. These are signs to look out for when your girl, and I'm speaking from the sister's perspective, or the sister's ex-husband's perspective, when your girl is seeking validation and confiding in another man, then that's when it's pretty much OV. When she's asking another man who's not related by blood for advice on what to do in your relationship, it's OV. If she's asking a woman, all this kind of stuff, even hoe friends, she can still override the hoe friends advice because of the love that she has for the man. But once she starts relating those feelings to another man who is non-familial or non-blood, then that can be extremely dangerous to the sovereignty of that relationship.
Whole story, like I said, it was never anything. He just wanted me to leave my husband and whatever. I didn't really get too upset about
And then also a man telling a woman to leave her husband is nuts. Unless he's like beating the shit out of her or something like that. That is some playa hating type ish.
About it. I'm just not really a jealous person anyway. It just kind of hurt my feelings that she wouldn't tell me right away because I feel like that's just something that I would do, but clearly she does not have the morals that I do. So that blows over. She said she'd block him on Snapchat just to make sure that it doesn't pop up again. Again, what the fuck was I thinking?
And the fact that she had to block her brother-in-law from a social media app is that's pretty much a red flag.
I'm so mad at this. I did ask my baby daddy about it as well. And I knew he was a liar, so I really didn't care what he had to say. But the stories added up, I guess, for the most part. And I just kind of got over it because, again, who thinks that there's something more than that going on between your sister and your serious boyfriend that you have kids with? So that was red flag number one. Then we get word that she is going to come stay here because she doesn't have a job, so she doesn't have to like stay wherever her husband was.
Wow, now this is crazy. This story is getting even more wild.
So that they could like watch the kids together. She could just kind of leave and do her own thing. And we were all supportive of that. I think selfishly, we really wanted to see her kids. So we totally were like, yeah, that's a good idea. You guys need space from each other right now anyway.
So it looks like her sister used her tumultuous relationship with her ex-husband and the children to weasel her way into the home. And I mean, as a man, like, let's just keep it a buck. If you have non-familial women who are attractive in your home on a daily basis, it's not a good recipe for a man to be in if he's in a committed relationship. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. No matter how much willpower you have or whatnot, bringing that level of temptation into your life is not something that is conducive to a long-term relationship. So if you are a guy and your sister is trying to bring in a friend or an attractive friend or an attractive sister, an attractive this and that into the home for long periods of time, yeah, you probably want to refrain from that. A night or two, weekend sleepover, not something that is that you should be unable to deal with. But it's just not a good recipe to have an attractive woman. And y'all know how these hoes are nowadays. Like, they're walking around damn near butt naked in the house. It's just not a good look. I remember when I was in college, I had a roommate. His girl used to come over. She would leave. She would leave or he would leave the house, and then she would just be in the apartment with me or me and the homies, and then she would always come out with damn near no clothes. One time she was doing like some workout demonstration, asking us if her form was good and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it gets real scandalous.
I'd also just like to add that I have screenshots and proof of everything that I'm saying to be true. I just don't want to have to post those things because I think that would embarrass the people we're talking about. And that's just the last thing I'd want to do to them. But I'm not going to have them trying to defend themselves or say that I'm lying because if you do, I will post the proof. Anyway, moving along. We get word she's going to come stay with us. I have the biggest house out of my family, and my mom, me, my other siblings live in apartments. And my house is already childproof pretty much because I have 2 toddlers running around all the time. So, of course, I said, yeah, come stay with me. Perfect. I missed my sister. I missed her kids. When I got pregnant with twins, I was just like so excited to watch our kids grow up together. It was just like the most important thing to me. I could every dream I had was our 4 kids playing together and us just sitting there watching them because like how perfect. How perfect. So she and her 2 kids were here. They got here, I believe. Let me look at my notes. Mid-April, and they stayed in town till mid-May. So they were here for a good month. They didn't stay with me every single night, but most nights they stayed here. She stayed at my mom's a couple nights, but again, there's no room really for them there, so they were here a lot. Plus, while I was working, I'm a dog groomer, so while I was working, they needed a babysitter because baby daddy worked in the garage, which is another little tidbit I hope you don't forget. We'll go back to that. So we needed somebody to watch the kids during the day. And if she was going to be here with her too, why not watch all 4? That sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but it was 4 like toddlers around the same age and like whatever. So it was pretty simple. I mean, they were crazy, but again, my house is childproof, so they could run rampant in this place and it would be fine. So my sister, came and watched all 4 kids pretty much every day while I was at work for me. How nice of her.
Wow. So sister is watching the kids. Uh husband or ex, not husband, but ex boyfriend, baby daddy, whatever you want to call it, is in the garage. I mean, where have we seen this movie before?
And got some good quality time with the father of my kids who worked from the garage. Or at least that's what this gets into. Now, I don't know the truth about any of this, and I probably will never know the truth because these people are liars to the core. But I didn't have any physical evidence of them being together besides the fact that she would go buy him like food for lunch a lot and bring it to him, which I just thought was weird because, again, these 2 hated each other for a long time. Like, me and him, whenever we had like a little spat with her, because she has a dog too, and we used to watch their dog all the time for her because they just never could take care of her. He talked a lot of shit. Talked a lot of shit. I talked a lot of shit as well, but I'm her sister, and I'm also not fucking her. No. So.
Hmm.
So it seemed kind of odd to me.
Well, here's the thing. When women complain about their friends to a man, if you don't pile on, then she's going to ask you, why are you taking her side? So in the vein of happy wife, happy life, the only option in that scenario is to pile on, is to add on to the shit talking that your girl is doing to make peace in the home, to keep peace in the home. So I really don't fault him for that because it just seems like that is probably the only move there.
That she was doing these favors for him. But again, why would I think that it was the way that it is now? Why? Who thinks that? Nobody, because it's wrong and disgusting. So that was weird. Another weird thing that happened was she would stay here in our guest room and the door would stay open. Sometimes she always closed the door when he wasn't living here because, okay, we got to backtrack a little bit. This is what I mean, y'all. So when she first got here, we went out a couple times together and I thought it was just sisterly, having fun, being crazy, whatever. Baby daddy and I were really on the brink at this point. So to me, we really weren't together anymore. And so when me and my sister would go out and like have drinks and stuff, we both would flirt with guys a little bit. She was newly single and I was on the brink.
So there you have it. So, I mean, she's saying he cheated on her and all this kind of stuff, but in all actuality, it kind of looks like she had begun cheating on him. And sis probably was contributing to that, probably led her into the trap, going out, which is something that she already admitted she loved doing. And women just overlook this. You can even see in the comments, all the women are on her side. But this woman started she was starting the cheating emotionally before she was even outside of the relationship. And her sister were probably talking like, oh yeah, let's be single together. We don't need no man, all this kind of stuff. And then her sister switched it up on her last minute. And that is probably why she's even more upset. And this is just me guessing. I haven't even watched, but I guarantee it'll come out in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
And she encouraged it. She encouraged a lot of the, let's go out, let's go do this. Oh my gosh, go up to him, get his Snapchat, blah, 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 blah.
Told you.
And I, don't tell me twice, girl. Don't tell me twice.
So your sister can just tell you to cheat on your baby daddy and it's all Gucci.
One of these nights, actually, we were getting a ride home from an Uber and I was drunk, but this is what I can remember and what my other sister told me went on. I looked over at her phone. I glanced at her phone for a second, and it had my baby daddy's name on it with a text. And I guess I was like, why are you texting him? Can I see your messages? And even in my drunken stupor, I think my brain was like, why again are you hiding talking to him? That's so fucking weird. So weird. So I got a little pissed off. And I think I said, like, if you don't show me your phone, I'm going to beat your ass or something, which is wrong. That's not right. But I was
also, flirting with men at the bar, being, influenced to cheat on your baby daddy at the bar because your sister is egging you on because she's newly single is wrong too. And what's her excuse? I was drunk. I was drunk. Guys, never date an alcoholic woman. It only goes downhill.
if you don't show me your phone, I'm going to beat your ass or something, which is wrong. That's not right. But I was drunk, and obviously I'm not going to do that. And I'm pretty sure I was being sarcastic. And it looks like I have to make a part 3. So part 3 coming next.
All right, let's get to part 3. Let's keep going.
Okay, part 3. I'm getting so tired. It is 2 a.m, and I'm already sleep deprived from all of this other stuff that's been going on. My brain is jumbled up. But we got to get through this because I got to relay this information. So, yeah, we get in a little tiff over her texting him in the car. Of course, I was drunk, so I didn't even remember it the next day. And yeah, so me, baby daddy, we pretty much broke up right then and there. And I was fine with that because, my sister's here. We'll find a cute little apartment to shove up me, you, and all of our kids into. And I have been wanting to be done with this person for a long, 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 long time. So it was kind of one of those things where you go back to them until you hate them. I was there with him. I was this close to hating him. So that really didn't bother me. I was like, okay, fine, just go stay at your parents' house because his parents live like a block away from our house. And we'll talk about it once she leaves, because I was really focused on spending time with my sister, which is so embarrassing again to look at, because what was I thinking? But I just was super excited to like finally build a relationship again with her after we kind of went our separate ways, creating our own families. So I was like, we'll talk about this once she leaves, and he agreed. He was like, we'll just be nice and cordial to each other, and then we'll decide what we want to do once she's gone. So yeah, we weren't together. He was staying at his parents probably the second like half of the month that she was here, or maybe the whole time. I can't remember exactly. But there were a couple nights in there where his parents got pissed at him for something, and so he had to come sleep here on the couch. Again, brain wasn't braining. And the couple nights that he stayed here were, ironically, the couple nights that my sister, from in her guest room, which is closer to the living room than my room, the master bedroom's all the way at the end of the hallway. The guest room / playroom where her and her kids were staying is like the first door in the hallway to the living room. And again, you guys, who thinks about this shit? Nobody. So it still really didn't cross my mind, but again, I just kind of had a weird feeling because I would hear the sound machine in her room be so loud, and I would text her and be like, are you okay? Like, are you in your room? Because again, she would close her door whenever he was not there. But when he was there, her door was open. So fucking gross.
Trying to make it so he could come in, sneak in easily, man.
So I would text her and I would be like, I can hear your sound machine. Like, are you going to the bathroom? Because the bathroom's right across the hallway from the guest room. Or like, do you need help? Do you want to come in here and talk to me? What's going on? She's like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm just sitting in the bathroom, whatever. And I would fall back asleep because this would be like 3 a.m. We're talking like early in the morning, and I had a job to get to the next day. So I would fall asleep. I would shut my door and I would fall asleep. So other coinkydinks that we noticed when we were going through all of our notes on the situation, me and my siblings, was that baby daddy suddenly started getting ready for the day. He details cars, so he's always full of crap and he stinks from that. No shade, but he would never come home and like shower and put on fresh clothes. That's just, he never did that. Just wasn't in his DNA. And he was doing that now.
Nah, that's nasty. Bro would detail cars all day, and then he was coming home just chilling, wasn't even taking a shower. Sheesh. Man, I mean, we got to teach these young men how to just have basic hygiene.
Now, like, he would come home and he would hop in the shower right away, and he'd pick out the nicest outfit you could think of just to be lounging around the house in. And I'm like, it was like a fucking woman, you guys. It was like a woman trying to impress a man. So this is where things are probably going to get emotional for me, both anger, hatred, and sadness. So bear with me. And it just was like a sinking feeling when he would do that, because I knew he wasn't doing it for me. So he was either Snapchatting some girl that he was trying to look good for, or there was somebody that he's being around that he's trying to look good for. And I couldn't think of anybody that he'd be around that he would do that for besides my sister. So that was a coincidence. Then another coincidence was, this is something that my brother actually brought up. He was like, they stare at each other. And this was before before it was even on my radar. He's like, there's just something so weird about the way baby daddy looks at sister. And I was like, yeah, it is weird. It's weird that he's always like staring at her. He was always like right behind her, or just something weird like that. And again, I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe that this is what's going on. And again, the thought doesn't cross my head really, because I would never do something like that. So the capability just went right over my head. It didn't even faze me at all until I found a message on baby daddy's phone. I really don't want to cry, so hold on. So let me remind you, these two have been home alone together. The 4 kids were here. Home alone together every single day while I was working my 9 to 5 alone. There was nobody else here. We maybe had a visitor once in a while, but they were here alone a lot, which is just so fucking gross. So again, I didn't have any physical evidence of them being together like that. So I just didn't really think of it. Then the day comes that I see the message on baby daddy's phone. So I got home from work. It was a Friday, and he had been mentioning for the past couple days that he wanted to take me, sister, and all of the kids and my other half siblings to the lake, because his family has a really big lake cabin, and we just thought it would be super fun for the kids. We were broken up at this point, so it was, again, a little weird that he asked to do that for me, but I was excited because I wanted all of our kids to be together, and subconsciously I wanted him back. Like, I wanted my family back together. I missed him briefly, but I missed him being a dad around me. And again, this girl was living here basically for free, which I was more than okay with at the time. Like, I would never ask for anything. But I literally fed her all of her meals. I fed her kids all their meals. I was open. This was her house too, in my eyes. And I know she felt that. And the whole time, we never really had any issues except for that text message that she was sending to him the night we went out. So I didn't care. But now I'm like, fuck you for taking advantage of me that whole time. We need to get back on track. Sorry. I knew this was going to happen. There's going to be so many parts. But I need to let you guys know the information, and every little detail in this story is very important, unfortunately. So see you in the next video.
Wow, part 4. Lord have mercy. How many parts? She got 6, 7? 7 parts total. Lord. Here we go, part 4.
So part 4 of my baby daddy is now my sister's boyfriend. So I'm excited to get home and shower and make dinner for everyone so that we can go to the lake. I'm pretty giddy about it. So I rush home, I get in the shower, I'm having a really good day. I'm like, oh, this is going to be perfect. I can't wait to watch all the kids play together in the lake. And I can't wait for, to see my baby daddy be a dad again, because I missed that. My motherly loins missed that. That sounds so gross, but I've got to be transparent, okay? So I hop in and out of that shower fast as fuck and come into the kitchen to help assist with making dinner for the kids. I have just my robe on because it's just my sister, my baby daddy, and all 4 of our kids, and they've all seen me naked at this point. So I really didn't give a shit. I don't even know why that it actually does add to the story, because it just makes this so embarrassing for me, which is, I don't even want to talk about it, but it's part of the story. So I have to tell you guys. So I come into the kitchen, Baby daddy put his phone on the counter in the kitchen to charge. And I just wanted to see. I just wanted a little peeksies, just to see who he'd been talking to or what he's been doing. Again, we're not together at this point. So this was me being a little nosy, if you will. But his phone was locked, so all I could see was just like the notifications that he had on there. And one of those notifications was a text from said sister, who was standing right the fuck across from me in the kitchen as this was going on. So my heart sank, as I'm sure you can imagine. Everything is being replayed in my mind. All of these things that I just mentioned, the door being open, the way people are saying that he's looking at her, the text message or Snapchat message, all of the things I'm like, I had a little bit of a feeling about, but obviously did not want to entertain because how the fuck, like, why the fuck would that happen? But I remember I just like literally saw red. I looked straight at her because she's sitting across from me. And I said, what are you texting? I can't say his name. What are you texting baby daddy about? And she's like, what are you talking about? And this is where the manipulation starts. And it was horrible. She goes, what the fuck are you talking about? And I said, your name is right here on his phone. It says 5 minutes ago. What the fuck are you texting each other about that you can't say in person when you're right across from each other? Like, what the fuck's going on? So baby daddy, who I've never seen run this fucking fast in his life, runs into the kitchen, grabs his phone out of my hands, and they both start deleting all of their shit.
Oh, wow. Now that's hella suspicious. And it took all this lead up to get to this point. So I don't want to stall it anymore because we got to get through this story. But it's just fascinating that all this can be happening under her nose and she be none the wiser. Man, it just goes to show that female intuition, apparently it doesn't kick in until it's too late.
Now I'm fucking fuming. I don't even really remember what I said because I seriously blacked out. I started screaming. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Why can't neither of you tell me what's going on? I knew there was something happening between you two. What? Show me your messages. Why are you deleting them? Why can't you just show me? Like, what the fuck's going on? We're not even talking about you. We're talking about what we're going to make for dinner. Neither of you make dinner. I make dinner. So this is where the real part comes in because I can only fucking imagine how stupid I looked chasing these two motherfuckers around my house for a good 5 minutes, trying to get an answer out of either of them. So I'm hyperventilating. I'm shaking. I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm like, please, you two, please tell me what's going on. I'm not going to be mad. I just want to know, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Why am I feeling all these feelings? What's going on? Whatever. And she's grabbing all of her shit. Like, she's going from my living room to the guest room where all of her shit is. Her first instinct was to go grab all of her shit and fucking leave. Which is, again, proof that something bad was going on. Because if nothing bad was going on, you both would have been able to just tell me what you were talking about right then and there. And your first instinct wouldn't have been to grab all your shit and leave because you think you're going to get kicked out. Like it's so stupid. And instead of being adults and just answering my fucking question, they were calling me crazy. They were the whole time, you're being insane. This is not even what it is. You're being so crazy. Why would you think that? We were just talking about dinner, like different shit coming in from their mouths. I was so fucking mad. So baby daddy, being the kind, generous helper that I know and love, is also gathering all of her shit around the house to pack up for her. So it didn't get anywhere. They literally took their stuff, told me I was fucking crazy, hopped in the car together, and drove off into the fucking sunset, babe. At this point, I feel like my stomach and my heart is going to explode. I am losing my fucking shit. So I'm calling whoever I can because I seriously, I've never been that mad and that horrified in my life ever. Even all of the things now that you'll hear about in a minute, that moment, I will never fucking forget that. So my other siblings come over, they calm me down a little bit, and there wasn't really much of a discussion. I mean, it was clear as day there was something going on. They deleted all of their stuff, so I would never know what was actually said. Clearly, these two people are serial liars, so why even waste my time? And yeah, I think for that night, like I stopped talking to my sister. I didn't talk to my baby daddy. I didn't talk to anybody but like my close family and friends that I could talk to about the situation because I was so shaken up and so angry. Again, nothing. I never got any physical proof of anything. Because at that point, it wasn't worth it for me to reach out to either of them and ask for the truth because we all know they weren't going to give that shit to me. So she goes and stays at my mom's house. He goes to his parents' house, like where he was staying. So that wasn't crazy of him to do. But no apology from either of them. This was a Friday. So I expected Saturday morning to wake up to a phone call or even just a fucking text message of I'm so sorry that we were being so mean to you. We were just talking about whatever and we didn't want you to see that. Not a fucking thing from either of them. And again, I'll remind you, she has been staying in my house, using all of my shit.
Yeah, that is pretty ridiculous. She's housing a woman, her sister, who is smashing her baby daddy and cooking dinner for them every night because she says she cooked dinner. So, I mean, it's getting wild.
For the past month. And you're going to go out like that without even an apology? So to be so fucking for real, I really don't remember much more of that night. I know I didn't get any information from either party. I just kind of had to dwell. And it was really fucking horrible for me. So days pass. I'm pretty sure my family tried talking to her and like asking her what really went on. But I don't think she gave she didn't give anybody like a good solid answer. So we know she was lying and we know that whatever they were talking about, they're ashamed to say out loud. Okay, part 5 next. And this is where it gets really fucking juicy, but horrible. So part 4 of my baby daddy is now my sister's boyfriend. So I'm excited to get home.
Oh, okay. Let's go through part 4. All right, we got to get to part 5. Here we go. Now, she done changed a whole fit. Almost done. We got 2 more parts after this.
Hello, here's part 5. I'm going to try to make this one way faster than my other ones because I know they were so annoying to watch. So there's going to be a lot of cuts in this one probably. But like I said, there's a lot to cover here. This is like starting way back this spring and I'm trying to come up with all of the things that have happened up until now. So there's a lot of stuff that happened in that time period. I'm also the ADHD queen, so bear with me. A couple things I want to clarify, though, before I get into it. One, I have a therapist, you guys. Don't worry. I've had a therapist for a long time. And yes, I'm medicated as well. So she's all good up here. And as horrible as the situation is, this did start happening, like I said, this spring. So I've had time to like process a lot of this stuff already. So that's why it's not making me like bawl every single time I talk about it. But I had those days, and that's why I posted my first video, because I wanted to show what I was like for a long time. I'm mainly posting these for two reasons. One, selfishly, I'm never going to get any closure from either of these people about the situation. And I think I just feel like this is kind of like closing a chapter of a book to open my next one. I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea, but I did, and now I'm here, and I don't know. And again, as horrible as this is, I am not the only person that has gone through this, and there's people who have been through way, way, way worse things than me. And I think it's hard to talk about because it's not something where you're like blatantly being abused or something. So you don't really feel, I don't know, you don't really feel like a victim, but it still is traumatizing, and you deserve to have a voice and speak your truth. I mean, I just think that everyone should be able to do that for themselves. So I'm hoping that I inspire other girls. And I know that I've already seen people on here be like, oh my gosh, I'm going through something similar. I've heard of that. And I just want to say, I am so sorry. I'm so, so sorry. And I mean, my DMs are open. We can go through this crap together, I guess. And this is none of our faults. It's just these people are these people, and there's nothing we can do about it except talk about it, process it, and hopefully bring way better people into our life moving forward. Okay, I think I'm done blabbing now. Last time when I left off, it was them leaving my house, I believe. So this was my weekend with my kids, and I was already so traumatized by everything that I really didn't talk to either of these people that night or the next day. However, I believe it was Saturday night, I just kind of got like an inkling that there was something going on, and I still had my ex's Uber account on my phone. So whatever feeling.
Oh man, I mean, there's just so many things to break down, but guys, you're linking your Uber, you're linking things that can pinpoint your destination, and you're doing, sneaky things on top of that. Never a good recipe.
Feeling I was having led me to go check the Uber account. And mind you, I thought that he was out of town at the lake with his parents because we were all supposed to go there, but of course I didn't go. So I don't really know what this feeling was, except now I can look back and be like, wow, my instincts are fucking fire. But I go on there and I see that just 5 minutes ago, he got a ride from an Uber from somewhere in town. I think he was either at a concert or at a bar, to my mother's house. So this is where my sister went after I kicked them both out of my house, and they grabbed all their shit and ran out together into the sunset. This is where she went. This is where she was going to be staying the rest of her days here. And again, my jaw dropped, my heart sank into my stomach, and I just was like freaking out. At this point, I was like, this cannot be real life. Like, this is not actually happening. I was panicking. So I called my brother, who lives way closer to my mom than I do. I live on pretty much the opposite side of town, and I just knew I needed to catch them as fast as I could. So me being dumb, I panicked and I called baby daddy, and he answered, and I said, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm at a friend's. And I was like, oh, what friend? And he goes, says friend's name. I'm not going to say a name. And I said, oh, really? Will you FaceTime me and prove that to me? Silence from him. Silence. So now he knows that I know something is up. My brother's on his way to my mom's house. I called my sister, the good sister, not this sister, my other sister, my half sister. And I said, you need to get to my house ASAP because my kids are asleep in bed and I cannot leave them home. And I need to go there to see what's going on between these two people as fast as I fucking can. So I'm in limbo because I can't leave my house until my sister gets here. And I know my brother is on his way to hopefully catch them in the act. So I had some sort of proof to justify what was going on, because I seriously felt fucking nuts. Again, there was no physical proof of anything up to this point except for the name on his phone that I saw and the way that they were acting. Obviously, we know that that's weird, but I had no evidence of any sort. I just had this feeling, and I had dots that were connecting. So my sister gets here. I got a call from my brother, and all I can hear is like the horn honking, and he's freaking out saying something. I don't know. I think he was attached to his car like speaker system, and all I could just hear was the horn honking over and over and over again, and someone screaming, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?" So I hop in my car. I'm still on the phone with my brother at this time. They're jumbling around. I don't really know what's going on. I'm just like, keep him there. Don't let him leave. And my brother goes, yep, he's here. It's him. He's here. He's literally trying to run away right now. He's hiding behind trees by my mom's house, trying to get as far the fuck away from that house as possible. And my brother, being the sleuth he is, caught that on video. So I do have proof of that as well. So baby daddy's running down the street, drunk as fuck, trying to evade me and my brother. We have him cornered on a very busy street, and I said, get in my fucking car right now. We are going to hash this out right now. He gets in my car, can hardly say a word straight, and we head back to my mother's house where my sister was. Again, if I'm going to be so honest, this whole thing was so emotional and so chaotic for me that I really can't remember little teeny tiny details. But the gist of it is that we got to my mom's house. I told him to get inside. Me, my brother, my sister, and him sat in my mom's living room and tried to talk about it, but he was so drunk and she was not giving up. My mother's not here, by the way. She was staying at her boyfriend's, so it was just my sister and her kids staying here right now. Again, his Uber app had said that he was only there for like 5 to 10 minutes, so I don't know exactly what happened. My brother swears when he pulled up, there was no funny business going on, so I don't know. So my brother and I are kind of drilling both of them, trying to get something out of either one, and baby daddy was too drunk to seriously even come up with a sentence, and sister was saying, he just showed up here. I didn't ask him to come here. He knocked on the door, and then I said, get away from me. There is no way this man knew my mother's address and was coherent enough to type it into the Uber app 10 minutes ago. So again, straight up lies, just straight up lies out the ass. We didn't get anywhere. His mother picked him up from that house. I tried to talk to her, but me and his mom, we don't get along anyway. That's a whole story for a whole nother day that I will not get into, because that would take a million years. But let's just say that she needs him to need her. And that's created a lot of issues in our relationship over the past 10 years. I follow him out to his mom.
So she's basically calling him a mama's boy. Just pay attention. Guys.
Car. Again, I try to say something to her. She just shakes her head and just doesn't say anything. And they drove off. I tried to go back inside and see if I could get anything more out of my sister, but it just went into circles. And she was being amazing at manipulation and gaslighting, telling me I was the worst sister ever. Why do you even care if he's here? You guys aren't together anymore. No, I didn't invite him over, but that's not the problem. You've been a horrible sister to me my whole life, whatever. Really, because the whole last couple of weeks you were staying at my house, you never mentioned me being a bad sister. Not once. Part 6 next.
All right, we got 2 more parts to go. Then I'm going to wrap it up because, Lord have mercy, this one can talk, boy. All right, hold up. Let's get to it. This is a crazy story, though. Appreciate everybody who's staying. Bearing with me with this story. I know it's a whole lot of babbling going on, but it's a lesson that we all can learn from. So let's keep going.
House that night, the last thing I said to my sister was, will you just please block him on everything, because then at least I know you aren't not communicating with each other and there won't be any confusion about you two being together. So she agreed to that, and that was kind of that. I went home, she stayed there. She was there for I think a couple more days. We didn't say a fucking word to each other, and that was that. As far as my baby daddy goes, I tried asking him the next day about it, and he just kind of tried to laugh it off and said, "Oh, it was just a joke because I know it would make you mad." Whatever. At this point, there was nothing left for me to do except try to figure out where I was going to live and move with my kids, since we're living in this house together with him. So the rest of May was pretty uneventful. I didn't really talk to my sister at all, and the only time I talked to my baby daddy was when we had to talk about our co-parenting our kids. In my mind, though, again, I just figured that was all going to go away and they weren't talking to each other anymore. So I really didn't dwell on it like there was anything I was going to do about it anyway. I had already cut my sister off at this point, so trying to get anything else from her just was not even worth it for me. And I unfortunately don't have the luxury to cut off my kid's dad. Anyway, June rolls around and she has to come back here for some sort of orders for her job. So she was here and she stayed at my mother's house again. She didn't talk to me at all. I had no contact with her this whole time. Again, we had to just go off of hearsay because we didn't have any physical evidence of them being together. So my mom, being a mom, she let my sister stay with her. My mom tried to ask her about the situation a couple times and she wouldn't really elaborate on it. So my mom kind of gave up, and honestly, I don't blame her. It's just at this point, I'm just like, it is what it is. Let's move on. Then my sister started doing crazy fucking shit at my mom's house. So she would tell my mom that she needs to go like grocery shopping at like 8 p.m. and would not come back to my mom's house till like 3 in the morning.
Damn.
She threw an air tag that she had in her car out the fucking window at Target because she didn't want her ex-husband tracking where she was, because he was not with her here. There were a couple other crazy things that she did, but I really can't remember exactly what it was. And at this point, again, like I said, I just didn't even give a fuck anymore. Our relationship was ruined at this point. I don't know for sure if they were hanging out when she was here during this time, but I can tell you there were a lot of coincidences in what they were both doing those nights. So at this point, my family's getting pretty fucking fed up with her. My mom's losing her patience with the fact that she's staying at her house but not being respectful enough to tell my mom what's going on. My siblings are realizing that she's kind of just like lying about literally everything, and she's just kind of going haywire and being crazy and like not telling people what's going on. I haven't said anything to her. She hasn't said anything to me. It kind of just was like water under the bridge, whatever at this point. So anyway, she goes back to where she's living with her husband, and the months go on, and August rolls around. And I'm going to be honest, I was really fucking sad. I was really sad. I was mourning the loss of my sister, my little family that I thought I had with my baby daddy and my kids. I was trying to find a place to move out. I was mourning this house that we made together, that I picked out everything in. And I'm just a girl. What do you want from me, okay? So I unfortunately caved a couple times and let baby daddy hang out with me. Again.
So she still let the baby daddy come through and hit. You know, we all know what hang out with me means. And, you know, it's not surprising. They have history. You know, they have a kid together. Like I always say, the baby daddy always has dibs. He can hit that ass whenever he wants, whenever he comes back into the life of the mother and the children, because there's something nostalgic about that woman seeing the father of her children being with their kids. And obviously she didn't intend for their relationship to break up, but yeah, it is what it is. This is where they're at now, and she's still letting them come through and slap that thing a couple times.
Again, the last time I talked to my sister, she had him blocked. After that conversation, she swears she was going to block him and not talk to him again. And he said the same thing. He kept telling me, I'm not talking to her. No, why would I talk to her? I'm not talking to her. You're being so dramatic. You know, nothing actually happened between us. It was just a joke, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, being a mother and him being the father of my kids and me just being a dumbass, I let him come hang out a couple times in August. And let's be so for real, we were together on and off for 10 years. You knew I was taking this man back unless I had solid evidence. So the last time he stayed with me, he had asked if I could put like an alarm on my phone for the next morning. And I was like, why don't you just use your phone? Why do you have to use my phone? And then again, the brain started clicking. I said, where's your phone? Oh, I don't know. I think it's in my pants somewhere. I don't know. The bitch left his phone at his parents' house so that his mom couldn't see that he was staying with me. Which I think says a lot about their whole situation, their whole family situation, because how are you tracking him and getting mad at him for being with the mother of his kids and your grandchildren? Because she definitely knew about my whole sister situation. We had a whole family talk about it, my parents and them, and they did not seem too worried about the fact that baby daddy was moving on to my sister. So to get mad that he's with me is crazy. Anyway, that's the last time I let him stay here. After that, I was like, fuck this shit. What the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm so stupid. I just need to start moving on. Like, whatever. So end of August, I don't remember exactly how everything went down, but my mother decided to go look on our call list because she still has me and my siblings all as like a family plan on her cell phone plan. And she discovered that baby daddy and sister had been talking every single day for the past 4 months, ever since she went back to where she came from, for hours every day. Like, phone calls were coming in at 9 a.m., 3 p.m., 1 a.m. for fucking months, you guys, for months. These two were each other's top contact on their phones. I think my mom looked and there was like 60 phone calls between the two of them in a matter of like 2 days. So all while he's telling me that they don't talk at all, like, oh my God, you're being crazy. No, she blocked me, and hanging out with me, he's also calling my sister multiple times a day. So I finally broke my non-contact that I had with my sister, and I told her to call me immediately. She calls me. I let her know what's going on, and I say, you better tell me what the fuck the truth is now, because things are adding up, girl. Things are adding the fuck up. And I am so exhausted at this point. I could cry, but I'm not going to. I have been gaslit the past however many months into thinking that they were blocked on each other's phones, and then coming to see all of this shit. I mean, I was losing my mind. So the whole phone call, she's telling me, no, it's not like that. I'm like, I need details, girl. Like, you need to fucking tell me what's going on. This is the last time I'm ever fucking talking to you. You owe me at least the truth. You at least owe me the fucking truth. And I have that phone call recording if I have to post it. But I really don't want to because she sounds really fucking stupid. Again, I'm begging her, please just tell me what the fuck's going on. I'm already so pissed and over it at this point that nothing you guys can say is going to make me more mad or hate you more. I just deserve to know the fucking truth. Me and my kids deserve to know the fucking truth. And if he's sitting here telling you that he hasn't been hanging out with me, I have proof of that as well. that he was hanging out with me. And I really don't want to post that. And I know he doesn't want me to post that. So, okay, the next part's my final part. And then I'll answer questions, but that'll be it. So before I left my mom's house that night, the last thing I said to
All right, part 7, the final part.
So the last part of that phone call that night was just her saying, I have no interest in talking to him. I promise we're not talking to each other like that. Just the same shit I've heard over and over. And again, I have this whole phone call recorded if I need to give evidence of it. And at this point, there was no denying the fact that something was going on between these two. Again, I have no real like proof of them like physically being together at all. But again, things connect, dots connect. I may be stupid, but I'm not dumb. And at this point, this is where my family is fed the fuck up as well and decides to pretty much cut her off. And for any confusion, I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers. This was my one full-blooded sister. I have a half-sister and a stepsister, and then a half-brother and a stepbrother. I get off the phone with her, and I send a nasty message to the both of them, which I do regret now looking back on it. Like, I shouldn't have done that, but also I was so traumatized from literally being gaslit the entire summer while also trying to be a mom and overcome all of the obstacles I had to overcome from last year. I just was so overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed. So at this point, I felt used, abused, not loved by literally anybody in my life. I mean, the 2 people who should have loved me the most, the father of my kids and my sister/best friend, fucking betrayed the absolute shit out of me, and not just for one day or a couple days, for the whole summer. Anyway, I'm just going to try to stick to the facts so I can finish this up because I know everybody's irritated. So that happened. That was like kind of the last thing for me, for both of them. Sent a horrible message to them, which I regret, but I'll take accountability for that. It wasn't nice. And didn't really talk to her at all or him at all, and my family cut them off. My family was never okay with any of this, by the way. I've been getting that question a lot too. But again, I have to defend them because there was no solid evidence, and we were all being gaslit. Like, it wasn't just me, it was my entire family. And I grew up with a single mom and my other 2 siblings alongside the Wicked Witch. So we grew up to be pretty like emotional people, and we've always just kind of talked it out. Like, we're not a family that like sweeps things under the rug. So they really tried their hardest to be on my side, but also wake the fuck up my sister from whatever the fuck she was doing. But I think they saw that she was not even answering their phone calls all summer so that they could see her kid, because they did try to keep in contact with her just to like know her children, because obviously that's their niece and nephew. But she really wasn't interested in talking to them, yet she could sit on the phone with my baby daddy for 9+ hours a day.
Damn.
So again, that was the end of August that phone call happened. Again, she denied everything once again, and it wasn't like that. They were just friends. They were just talking to each other about life. And again, at the end of the phone call, she goes, I have no interest in talking to him. And then I say, you're still going to talk to him. So you're not going to give me the truth. I'm done. So again, I've never gotten I'm sorry, a explanation, like a legitimate explanation, any sort of anything from either of these fucking people. Now we're bringing it to a couple weekends ago. Baby daddy told me that he is going out of town for a golf tournament. It's a little late in the year for a golf tournament, and I live in a cold climate. So I knew right away that he was going to see my sister. And again, at this point, you guys, I didn't give a fuck because like I had already tried everything else and I just was whatever. I signed a lease on an apartment. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm not doing this shit anymore. Whatever. Again, though, I had a gut fucking feeling that whatever he was saying he was doing, that's not what he was doing. And I know he was going to go see my sister. And ever since the phone call to her that night and leading up to this weekend, it's a month apart, pretty much exactly. He would go back and forth with me. I mean, we only communicated really when it came to like kid drop-offs and stuff like that, but he would make snarky comments here and there about, you know, my sister and trying to ask me who I was hanging out with and all of this stuff. Still being very weird around me, trying to like grab my hand and just be the nasty guy I know that he is. And all of this info was relayed to my sister as well on that phone call in August. My phone is going to die, so I'm going to finish this here. So I had a weird feeling about him leaving. I didn't really express that to anybody but my family, just because I've obviously been keeping them updated with everything, but I didn't entertain it. I didn't try to see where he was going. I didn't question him too much about it. I just knew in my nuggets that he was doing something with her. And then, so he told me this on, I think, a Monday. Thursday rolls around and I get a phone call from somebody very reliable in this situation and very much like a part of this. And he let me know this man was not going where he was telling me he was going. He was going to visit my sister.
Damn. Woo! So there you have it. I mean, it it's getting exposed, and obviously her baby daddy and her sister have a thing going on. But damn, did it take 7 videos to explain this? I mean, this is kind of wild.
And at this point, it's like, fuck you guys. You clearly are in love with each other. So just own it and let everybody know. I don't know why we're hiding it at this point. So I had proof that he went to go stay with her for a weekend, and that was my little weekend getaway video. I didn't talk to either of them that weekend. I didn't care to. I knew they were doing weird shit, and I knew they weren't going to tell me the truth. So I just didn't entertain it. Sunday rolls around. My siblings are at my house. My real siblings that I love were at my house, and I ran an errand quick while they were watching my kids. I come back home and it looks like everybody's about to fucking throw up in my living room. And my brother comes up to me and goes, "You're going to want to sit down to hear this." So I'm panicking. And he goes, "We just talked to my baby daddy, who talked to my sister, whatever, through the grapevine. They confirmed that after that weekend, this was 2 weekends ago, they were going to pursue their relationship together." So they had a great little weekend honeymoon, and I guess decided that, fuck, we might as well be, let everybody know.
And I doubt this is actually going to work because of the way that they found each other, but that's neither here nor there.
She's letting me know that their life is none of my business. Her and my baby daddy's life that they want so badly to have together was none of my business. And and in that message she goes, "Obviously we have feelings for each other. I thought it was obvious. Obviously, since you guys have been telling me all summer that you guys were blocked on each other's phones, that made it really fucking obvious." And there's so many more little details that I could add to this that I just can't even get into, but that was the gist of it. And ever since then, I decided that I'm going to fucking tell people about it, because I've been sitting with this shit in my soul for the past however many months, and I was just fucking manipulated and gaslit all summer long by 2 people who I loved. And now I am kind of mourning everything all over again, because I really didn't want to believe it. I don't think any of us want to believe when things like this happen to us. But knowing that his ass got on a fucking plane and flew however many miles to stay with her in a hotel over the weekend, that was enough for me. And that's the last thing I'm going to say about this. I have my kids to think about. I have her kids to think about. I mean, regardless of everything that happened, the number one thing is to protect our kids. So I'm not going to tag them. I'm not going to mention their names. I do not want any harassment or bullying for either of them because that only makes my life worse. All I'm asking for is just a little hearing me out, and I appreciate it if you made it this far. And yeah, life is only going to get better from here for me. This is just a bump in the road. And I'm sorry it took 100 years to explain everything, but it's just who I am. Sorry. Bye.
Wow. So that was very long, drawn out video. I do want to show some of the crying videos as well. Now there is some music, so I'm gonna have to blank it out because it's copyright music. I'll let you hear the first part though.
Turns out I'm not.
All right, so everybody knows this is copyright music. She says, uploading this to show how gaslighting and manipulation should seriously be considered emotional and mental abuse. Here is the full video of me forcing myself to cry and ignoring my screaming child in the back, when in reality, this is me suffering mental welfare by the guy gaslighting me into believing things. Okay, so, you know, they do have a son. I don't know if she was trying to block his face out with this heart or anything. But apparently she has twins as well. Like I said, this is a white couple, and she's a single mom. And a lot of people try and make it seem like, oh, well, it's just black men. I'm telling you, the single motherhood epidemic is increasing in all demographics. And this is just a long example of the inner workings of how the relationship devolved into her becoming a single mother. Okay, believing things that aren't true and causing me to get emotional in front of my children. Me being a human being and mom all at once. He has threatened me to silence once again by making me believe he can take the important things away from me, my babies, due to my irrational mental health. Unfortunately for him, though, I now know my rights and my worth. I will be back. I am so grateful for the community I've been made a part of in the short time I've been on here. You all will never know how much y'all's kind words and support have helped me. Sending everyone so much love and prayer. All right, so she's venting on social media. All right, so here is a argument between her and her sister. Listen up.
He's told me that you're blocked. He's told me he hasn't talked to you. He talked to you for like one night. So is there feelings involved or what? Okay. What are the intentions behind it then? You just want to be butt buddies or like complain about your lives to each other or what? Okay. I mean, at this point, you guys are gonna. I'm not gonna tell you stop talking because you're just gonna keep talking. But no, I don't have any interest in talking.
All right, so it says this is a text message thread between them. Relationship with my kids, which would be little to none. If you're going to blast information all over the internet, at least be honest. I'll own up to what's going on with okay, so I can kind of, it says C or S. First word is C, maybe. Last two are NT. I don't really. What's a name like that? Count? I don't know if that's a nickname or something. What's going on with blank? And although I thought it was obvious, we are talking to each other. We spent time together over the weekend and have genuine feelings for each other. Despite you wanting it to be some get back scheme, couldn't be further from that. She goes, oh, hold up. She goes, ha ha. Funny you say I didn't give a ish about you or your kids or Braden, considering I was the one that planned and threw your bridal shower, bachelorette party, baby shower, and did a hell of a job making your wedding day special for you. You two deserve each other, and I won't get in the middle of it, but neither will my children. Don't ever talk to me again. So she's swearing off of her sister. It says, my mom just saw all of your phone calls and messages too. You're absolutely disgusting. I'm not keeping secrets from you anymore. She says, the sister, I guess, is what the F are you talking about? So you're going to tell your mom what's going on? I haven't talked to Kyler at all. Answer me now. You're actually insane. Yeah, okay. Insane that. Okay. We can't read that. So more context to the story, just text messages thread they're going back and forth on. Okay, this is a TikTok that she made. I'm not gonna really show this. It's irrelevant. Let's see. All right. So now she's just like kind of making TikTok, filming Q&A tonight to cover all of my facts. Comment your questions here. Okay, so she's answering the questions from her fans. Let's see. Okay, so this is, I guess, her making fun of the situation. It says, when someone asks me how I really feel about my sister now that she's trying to play stepmommy with my ex and kids.
Pretty much, I will let Gemma know that she is a fat cunt, and the shoes that she gave me were not something that I would particularly buy for myself. They were old maiden type of shoes. And she said that those shoes were meant to be worn on a beautiful woman. So if that's the case, she should have put them back on the rack, and she should never even purchase them because she was unqualified to own those shoes if that's the case. And I think Gemma is just a disgrace. She's a disgrace to women who are actually beautiful and classy, and she just doesn't have the vernacular that she thinks she possesses. Somebody lied to her several times and told her that she was fly, hot, and sexy and beautiful.
Okay. So I guess this is from some.
So I literally had a whole video recorded answering.
All right. So she's answering questions. Somebody said, if they don't work out, do you plan on ever forgiving your sister one day?
So I literally had a whole video recorded answering all of your guys' questions, and it got deleted. So I'm going to have to go through and just answer questions on this post with videos. So if they don't work out, do you plan on forgiving your sister? No. I will never forgive her for anything ever. I mean, it is quite honestly the feeling of I just don't care about her anymore. I have no feelings left for her. Whenever I think about her, I think about how fucking vile she is to have done this to me and my kids and her kids. And I just there's lines you don't cross, and I am the queen of second, third, fourth, fifth, 17 chances. This hit me different. I mean, I think it would anybody, but no, she could be on her hands and knees begging me, and I just no.
All right, so she's not forgiving little sis. They're saying, was the sister competitive? Have either of them had the decency to give you an authentic apology? Is he moving to Colorado? The rest, let's see. How did she break the news to your family? Also, how do your parents feel? Can't really see how long this is. Oh, that's 4 minutes. How do your parents feel about it? Do they talk to your sister? Yeah, we could probably watch these. They're not too long. This one asks if the sister was competitive growing up.
So this question's really important to me because I think it really cuts deep, knowing all the circumstances. So yeah, we were not competitive growing up. We were best friends. We were super close. Like I said, she was my only full-blooded sibling. So when we would go to my dad's house every other weekend, we would be together. We literally shared a bed at my mother's house until I was 18. And I am not kidding. Like when this happened, my best friend, my childhood best friend that lived 2 houses down from us, that was always at our house, was the first one to call me and be like, "What in the fuck is going on? You guys were best friends. Like what? Like it's not like this was like a sister rivalry thing. It's not like we were long distant family members. We were close, really close growing up." And so that's where it really mind fucks me because I just don't know. I don't know what happened to that. I mean, you can ask anybody around us and they would say, yeah, no, there was no competitive nature. We never got in fights. I think we got in one fight in high school and that's it. Like we were not catty sister fight. We always had each other's backs. I got a girl expelled from my high school for bullying my sister. I literally took it to the office and was like, this girl is fucking with my sister, and they expelled her. I mean, I would cry to my sister about my baby daddy a lot. Like I said, we were together for 10 years. So she knew everything. We all four lived together in an apartment before they moved to where they're living now. Me, my baby daddy, my sister, and her husband lived in an apartment, all four of us, for a good year and a half together. And I know, and again, it just, did it start then? Did it start then? I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, I could spiral all night on it because there's just so much proof of me and her being super close and so much proof of us getting along perfectly fine. It's mind-boggling. Anyway, is your ex trying to reach out to you? He was during that little stint of time when we were together in my videos, but that was before I posted anything. Obviously we have to co-parent our children, so we've been in contact, but I don't even think I've seen him in person. I don't even know. Like usually his parents will help, and that's who I pick the kids up from for the most part because he's busy doing things. So no, there's no like reaching out of like that sort. We just will talk about the kids and schedules basically. And will my kids be allowed to visit them together? If it were up to me, absolutely not. I am currently trying to figure out if there's some way for me to keep her as far away from my kids as I possibly can.
Well, I mean, I don't really think there's a way to do that unless she breaks the law. She could take the father of her children to family court, and then they'll have to trade upon custody. But she can't really control who's around the children when he has custody. So, very interesting.
It's just, there's no reason for my kids to be around that if she doesn't, beyond the fact that she's with their dad. She's blatantly disrespecting the fuck out of me. And why would I allow my children to be around somebody who doesn't respect me? No, absolutely not.
So, like I said, she doesn't really have a choice. when it comes to custody. Have either of them had the decency to give you an authentic apology? Have you had a convo with him about this after they went public?
Nope. I have not gotten an apology from either of them, and I never will. I've accepted that. And have I had a convo with him? Not really. I really don't care to know how much he loves her. I don't care to know the details. I think ignorance is bliss sometimes, so I don't poke and prod at that. And at this point, I mean, I hope you can make each other happy because I don't know anybody else that's going to want to be with either of you.
Honestly, I will say she's handling it pretty well. The comment
So this-
about I don't know if anybody else will want to be with you.
I wish a bitch would.
It kind of appears that her ex baby daddy is some sort of Chad. So I don't think he'll have many issues getting another woman. And if her sister looks anything like her, she probably won't have any issues getting another simp. So she really ends up being a single mom out of this, and maybe she wins her sanity and her peace. But she also loses a lot too. She loses her family. She loses the family unit. She lost her sister, lost her baby daddy. Thanksgivings, Christmas ain't never gonna be the same. Your kids' relationship, they won't have relationships with their first cousins on your sister's side. So that is definitely something that will affect you and the children in the future. But I will say it does look like she's handling it pretty decently, besides airing out her dirty laundry on social media.
I wish a bitch would, honestly. I don't think so. I think he's got to play super dad because the whole town kind of knows what's going on. And so he would probably feel really dumb. And it would look really bad if he did that. Not like it didn't look bad that he was sleeping with my sister. But whatever. I wish.
All right. How did she break the news to your family? Let's get it.
So, being the pitiful coward that she did not tell anybody in my family. She apparently went home after her little honeymoon with my baby daddy and looked at her husband and said, "Yep, I was in fact in a hotel with him. And yes, we are going to be in a relationship. We're in love with each other. Duh. Duh." And then it was kind of just like right place at the right time because my brother had texted her husband asking for their new address so that they could send gifts. My siblings send gifts to their kids for their birthday that was coming up. And his response to that was letting my brother know that, yeah, they are going to pursue their relationship. So this all happened before I got home from my errand that I ran. And so when I got home, they had just finished up calling baby daddy to confirm. So her husband told, she told her husband told my brother, and then my brother and sister called baby daddy, and he confirmed over the phone that, yeah, they can't live without each other. So, and that call was recorded as well. So being the pitiful coward.
All right.
So this will
So we got another 4-minute story, then we got a short one, then we're done. Lord have mercy. This is crazy.
be my last question of the night because I'm falling asleep. I'm so tired. But this is probably my most asked question, how my family feels about all of this. So my dad has completely cut her off. My parents are divorced, by the way. My dad has completely cut her off. No desire to ever have a relationship with her again. They already had kind of a rocky relationship anyway, so it wasn't really a big deal for him. Obviously, it's his daughter, but they didn't talk much anyway. My siblings are 150 1000% on my side, but they still love her. I mean, she's their sister, and she didn't do to them what she did to me. I can't expect them to hate her the way that I do. That would be really selfish of me. And she does have kids, like I said, and they deserve the opportunity to have an aunt and an uncle if my siblings choose to pursue that. So they don't talk on a regular basis with her. I think it's just kind of every now and again. Somebody will get a phone call about something. And yeah, they didn't talk to her for a long time, but she now has been like answering phone calls randomly. I'm sure she's down in the dumps now that everybody knows, but they don't have a good relationship with her. It's just mainly because they don't want to miss out on being a part of her kids' lives, which is fair, and I get that. I will never want to because no thanks, but they deserve that. So they talk to her not normally, and nobody's condoning this behavior. My mother is probably the last person to condone this, which is funny because everybody's been saying like, oh, why did your mom let this happen? My mom most definitely did not let this happen. The night that baby daddy went to my mother's house to see my sister, my mom was not there. She was staying with her boyfriend who lived like way across town. So it's not like she was there and like saw him come to the door or like come inside and my sister be like, oh, like, no, my mom like literally was not there. So she was not condoning that behavior whatsoever. And then she's the one who got a lot of information for me, actually, like from the phone call log and stuff. So she does not condone this. She has got no contact with my sister as well. I've just really seen the emotional toll it takes on her though, so it really makes me sad because no mom should have to like grieve a child that's still alive, and 2 grandchildren basically. So this has been really, really, really difficult on my mom as well, and I understand that it's difficult for me, but it's almost like black and white for me, because like, I mean, you did this and there's no justifying any of it. But with my siblings and my mother, like, she didn't do something to directly hurt them. So I try to just keep an open mind with it. But for the most part, no, none of them are really talking to her on a regular basis. And my dad and mother have for sure cut the cord with her. So, yeah.
All right. So that was the story. Holy shit. I mean, she literally just put her whole life on TikTok. Very interesting there. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. This story was so long, so tiring, but there were so many little nuggets, red vitamin nuggets that we can take from this and learn from. So I hope you guys were able to get something out of this video, if not just pure entertainment. But you already know what it is. It's your boy Reclaim Your Throne. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Send your relationship request to the email down below with a screenshot of your CashApp so I know you're paying on time, man. Y'all need to be in your mouth reading with the BS. You already know. Reclaim Your Throne.
Want to become an elite level athlete? Well, look no further. The Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course is all you need to take your performance from subpar to the creme de la creme of athletes all around the world. The purpose of this course is to give you a comprehensive weight training, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance program that is meant to prepare young athletes for collegiate and professional sports. This course is packed with over 2 hours of creative, action-packed lifts narrated and coached by yours truly to assure increased strength, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance. Hey, I get it. Training alone can be tough and can even make you feel misguided or somewhat unmotivated. But with this course, I walk you step by step through each and every lift to make sure you're using the proper form to prevent injuries and that you're hitting the correct muscle groups to render maximum results. So what are you waiting for? It's now or never. So go ahead and get the training course today so you too can reclaim your throne.